Hi everyone, my name is Anton and I'm a developer advocate at ChanceTech. Today I'm walking through a copy trading bot I built for Kuru DEX on the Monad blockchain. This is an educational project that demonstrates blockchain automation using event-driven architecture. Here's what we will cover: background on Monad and Kuru, how the bot works, architecture and implementation, and how to extend it. Let's jump in. First, some context. Monad is an EVM-compatible Layer 1 blockchain. It runs Ethereum smart contracts but with higher throughput, thousands of transactions. This matters for on-chain trading where execution speed affects whether you can successfully copy a trade or miss the price level. Kuru is a spot trading DEX. It uses an on-chain central limit order book. Key architecture points. It uses a margin account system for collateral. You deposit funds into a contract-controlled margin account for spot trading. All orders are smart contract calls. Every action, order placement, cancellation, execution emits blockchain events. These events can be subscribed to via WebSocket for real-time updates. The bot works by listening to these events and replicating the orders. But before we dive into what the bot does, let me show you how I approached understanding Kuru. This is useful if you want to build your own integrations. First, let's open Kuru documentation. Luckily, there is a documentation for this protocol, and go to architecture overview. From this page, we see that the first and the most important contract here is router contract, which governs all the markets, deploys them, and stores markets parameters. Also, margin account is mentioned here. So margin account is used to place limit orders and cancels limit orders. So we use it for trading. Also, it's mentioned here that each market on Kuru comprises of an order book and discretized AMM liquidity. Basically, we need to check the details of this order book. We can go further and check the details of each contract. So let's go to order book contract, and here we can see functions or methods which are available to us: order placement, market orders, cancellations, etc. We can check the events which order book emits: order created, order cancelled, trade. Trade means an order was filled. Another thing which we should have before starting development is AB files. These files allow us to interact with contracts, and in case of Kuru, they have SDK where we can find those AB files. So they are placed here. Else, we can go to the documentation, check the mainnet addresses, and go to a contract which we are interested in and open it in Blockchain Explorer, for example, Monad Vision. In this case, I opened margin account contract. We can check its implementation under this address. Go to Contract tab and check its AB file here. Here. We can download it and store in our project files. So after reviewing the Kuru documentation, we have some understanding of this protocol, and we can proceed with drafting some scripts and methods. But just to wrap up, we have a few contracts which we need to automate and to examine in detail. The first one is margin account, because this is where our funds are stored, and these funds will be used for trading. And markets. In our case, each market is an order book, and this is where we place our limit orders, and this is where they are filled. So probably we should listen to these markets and use margin account for trading. The core functionality of the bot is straightforward. The bot monitors specified vault addresses and mirrors their limit orders on Kuru DEX. When a source trader places a limit order, a corresponding event is emitted by a smart contract. And the bot receives this event via WebSocket subscription, then validates parameters of an order, calculates an order size, and places a mirrored order. Same for cancellations. When source cancels, the bot cancels the mirrored order. Of course, you don't want to blindly copy trades at full size. The bot includes risk parameters to prevent that. For example, copy ratio to scale positions, position size limits to cap each individual order or prevent dust orders, balance checks to query margin account balance before placing orders, total exposure limit to cap max notional value across all markets. Also, there are two additional parameters for dry run. Dry run mode allows you to run the bot without placing actual orders. And the second one, dry run track all market orders, allows you to track all orders regardless of who placed them. It can be useful for debugging or testing sessions. Now here's something critical to understand. Kuru uses margin accounts, not wallet balances. You must deposit funds to margin account before trading. You can do that in multiple ways. You can do that through user interface. You need to navigate to, let's say, Discover tab, for example, Mon. Click here Limit, and whenever you will try to place a limit for the first time, limit order for the first time, the application will generate a transaction for you, moving funds from your wallet to a margin account. Another method of doing that is that you can use contract tab on Monad Vision. Here you have deposit, and you can use this function here. For that you need to connect your wallet. Also, to make your life easier, we have scripts here. So you can run deposit margin, withdraw margin, check margin balance. You just need to change a few parameters here and everything will be working. Without margin account balance, all order placements will fail. Let me show you the bot in action. For the first run, I will enable dry run mode, so the bot will not place real orders. It will not use real funds. So let's run the bot and see what happens next. In this example, I already provided a few source wallets and a few markets to track. That's why we have a lot of records here. Let me stop the bot and let's see the final statistics. In total, we placed 9 orders, 8 of them were cancelled, 1 order left open. Probably one of the source wallets is some kind of bot. Let's scroll up a bit. Here we see general notes telling us in which mode we are running the bot, which wallets we are monitoring. After that, we see the detected events. Let's check one of the event. So order cancelled detected. We didn't have any orders, that's why we don't cancel anything. Here we see order created event. Then it's parsed. Then we are processing this order for copying and executing mirror order. Since we enabled a dry run mode, this transaction is not sent to blockchain, just simulated. And here we see a successful message. And it goes next. Later, this same order is cancelled. So we're canceling our simulated order too. It's successfully cancelled. And the same goes on and on. As you can see, someone is placing and cancelling orders constantly. Now let's see how the bot works without dry run mode enabled with real funds. For that I put false to the parameter dry run and set these values to max order size, min order size. My account doesn't have too much funds, so we will check how the bot behaves in that case. Let's run the bot. Let it trade for a few seconds. We will stop it and then analyze the logs. We have already some good example. Let's stop it. So the bot starts. Here you will see all events, the total number of detected orders, cancellations detected. When we stop the bot, no open orders left. Now let's scroll up and check what was happening. I guess the first event is here when we were mirroring an order, executing mirror order. You can see the price, the size. The original order has this amount of tokens, more than almost 500,000 tokens, but in my environment variable I have only 1% of that amount. Also I have a min order size set to 10. It means that if I calculated order size less than 10, then the bot will use this amount. I guess it's around 10 USD. Here we have interesting record. I guess at this moment we had a few open orders already and our margin account has less funds. We see that our balance was less than 10 USD. The calculated order size was more than our maximum order size. The bot was trying to place minimum order size and it was a failure because we have enough funds. But after we cancelled one of the previous orders, our funds were restored and we could place a new order again. This is what happened here. Alright, let's wrap up with some important points. This project is for educational purposes only. It has definitely a lot of space for optimization. That's why we are publishing it on GitHub and you can use it and modify it freely. Please leave us feedback in issues to the GitHub repository. If you'd like to modify it further, the resources you'll need are the following ones. Of course, you need RPC nodes for Monad. You can use Chainstack RPC nodes, Kuru DEX documentation, and some knowledge of Monad blockchain. Thanks for watching.